Ethan Carter. A 45-year-old man, tall and well-built, salt and pepper hair, with piercing blue eyes and chiseled features. Driven and ambitious, arrogant and self-assured, impulsive and reckless, charitable at times. Ethan Carter was born into a wealthy family and grew up accustomed to a life of luxury. He excelled academically and went on to build a successful business empire. Known for his shrewd financial instincts and ruthless negotiating skills, Ethan amassed a vast fortune within a few years. Despite his wealth, Ethan had a reputation for being cold and aloof, often putting business before relationships. Ethan is known for his expensive taste and lavish lifestyle. He has a penchant for sports cars and owns a collection of rare and exotic vehicles. His personal life is a mystery, and he is rumored to be a private person who values his privacy. Ethan is haunted by a traumatic childhood experience that drives him to succeed at all costs. Story. Ethan Carter stood on the balcony of his penthouse suite, looking out over the sprawling skyline of the city he had conquered. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the glass and steel towers that housed the power and ambition of thousands. To the world, he was a titan of industry. Each deal struck, each negotiation won, a testament to his sharp intellect and unyielding drive. But as the light faded, so did the facade he wore like armor, revealing the shadows of his past, shadows he preferred to keep buried. His eyes, piercing and blue, betrayed nothing, even as memories surfaced. Ethan was 6 years old when a car accident claimed his mother. The regret-filled whispers of his father haunted him, since they seemed to echo within him, urging him to achieve what they had lost. He vowed never to feel powerless again, but in building his empire, he had also boxed out any chance of meaningful connection, isolating himself from those who dared to break through. Ethan turned to the bottle of aged bourbon on his table, pouring himself a generous glass. He glanced at the framed photographs lining the mantel, events at which he had posed with celebrities, heads of state, and executives. None of them represented friends, they were trophies of success. Yet, in his solitude, it felt hollow. Months had passed without a single call from a friend or a message that wasn't business-related. He was a king without a court, a solitary figure atop a mountain of gold. The sound of a knock interrupted his reverie. He placed the glass down and opened the door. There stood Amelia, his personal assistant, 10 years his junior, a spark of life in her bright brown eyes. "Ethan, there's someone here to see you," she said, her tone cautious. "Who?" Ethan asked, allowing a hint of impatience to creep into his voice. "A charity representative for the Hope Foundation. She claims you were a big donor at last year's gala." Ethan rolled his eyes. Charitable events were interludes in his business calendar, opportunities to rub shoulders with potential allies. His substantial donations had always been strategic. "Tell her I'm busy, Amelia." "Ethan," she insisted, stepping forward. "She's different. I think you should at least hear what she has to say." Ethan hesitated. A part of him, a rare flicker of curiosity, maybe even responsibility, urged him to entertain the woman's request. With a sigh, he relented. "Fine, send her in." A moment later, a petite woman stepped into his office, her hair dark and wavy. She wore simple jeans and a blouse, a stark contrast to the high-powered suits and designer dresses that filled Ethan's world. "Mr. Carter," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Lauren. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me." He took her hand and motioned for her to sit. "Cut to the chase, Ms. Lauren. What's this about?" "It's about the children," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "The Hope Foundation provides support to families in need: food, education, healthcare. Without funding, many of these families face dire circumstances. We're here to ask for your help." Ethan leaned back, his heart racing. This was when he usually detached, employing his cold persona to shield himself from genuine emotions. But there was something in her eyes of passion and sincerity that pierced through his defenses. "And what do you need from me?" "Funding for our educational program," she replied. "We have plans to expand it, but without substantial donations, it's impossible." "I've given enough money, haven't I?" he snapped, his arrogance flaring. "I can't be your fairy godfather." "Then be a partner," she responded, her voice firm. "You have the power to change lives. Would you rather see your money go to another shiny car or a child who dreams of becoming a doctor?" Her words struck a chord he hadn't expected, mingling with the unresolved guilt of his past. He glimpsed the faces of children he had never met, but somehow felt a connection to a desire that mirrored his. He felt exposed, cornered, ensnared by his own sense of responsibility to live a life that wasn't just about wealth. "I don't know where to start," he admitted, feeling vulnerable for the first time in years. "You could start by visiting one of our centers," she suggested gently. "See for yourself what your contributions can do." In that moment, something shifted within him. The impulse to turn her away faded as his curiosity leaned toward the opportunity for connection. The thought of getting behind the wheel of yet another sports car suddenly felt unappealing compared to the potential of impacting lives. Ethan nodded, his voice quieter, more deliberate. "All right, I'll visit your center. And I'll consider a larger donation." Lauren beamed, relief washing over her features. "Thank you, Mr. Carter. You won't regret it." As she left, Ethan remained seated, allowing her words to linger in his mind. For the first time in years, he felt the spark of something more than ambition and awakening to the world outside of his fortress of wealth. It was a small step back toward humanity, an impulsive yet necessary choice that might finally reshape the course of his life. Standing once more on the balcony, he looked out at the city, aware that the horizon was more than just the sunset. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where he might, at last, reside in the heart of connection rather than the cold confines of success alone. If you enjoy this story, click on the next story I have personal posted for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay blessed and be just.